Welcome to Game Changer number 4, where today we're going to focus on the powerful and intelligent Okuma OSP Control. Over the next 12 minutes, we'll be joined by Brad Klippstein and Wade Anderson of Okuma America, as well as Ricky Hochecker of Hartwig Incorporated, who will share with us some of the powerful features and benefits of this amazing control. Please engage with us and share your questions in the Q&A box that we will tackle at the end of this presentation. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Brad Klippstein. I'm the Controls Product Specialist here at Okuma America. Today we're going to be discussing our game-changing control technologies. So myself, Wade Anderson, and some of the Hartwig application engineers are going to be discussing some of the benefits, features, and standard features, more importantly, on our control systems. We'll be covering things like our processing speed, the Windows open architecture concept, along with some of the things that we believe our operators and users really benefit from using the control system. It's a fully Windows-based system with a touchscreen panel and 2 USB ports right on the front of the panel, so you can easily upload and download programs. But the touchscreen really makes it very simple and easy for anybody to use the control and navigate through things like PDF documents and getting into some 3D models. So it's a really nice control system that's very easy to use. I'm going to pass it over to Wade Anderson to discuss why we built this control system to be a fully open architecture control system.
Hey, I'm Wade Anderson, Product Specialist Manager for Okuma America. Greg, I appreciate you having me on the Game Changer video again. Today I'm going to talk more at a very high level of the OSP control and how we developed the P-Series control. It didn't start out its life to be a PC control. What we did, we were invited in 2004 to a meeting in Orlando, Florida by a group called OMAC. And that's a group that was put together by the top companies in the world, basically. Companies like John Deere, Boeing, Caterpillar, General Motors. All these companies got together and talked about what they wanted in a machine tool control. They were tired of machines being locked in time and being basically obsolete as soon as it hits the shop floor. They wanted a control that could grow and ride the coattails of computing technology. So we didn't start out to build a PC control. We started out to build a control that would match a spec book that was about this thick. And in doing that, what we found is to use de facto standard technologies, things that could grow as technology grows and changes. We needed to basically use a PC style interface or architecture of the control. So that's what started the OSP P-100 control. Today we're up to the OSP P-300 A-Series control that has all the latest generations of Windows technology. Why that is so important is because it actually makes this a tool that goes onto your network. It's not just a control that runs a manufacturing process, it opens up the world of connectivity. So the P-Series control is a very fast and a very powerful control. We have 4 gigabytes of program storage and 120 gigabyte of operating system storage, so we can handle virtually any application you're going to throw at this machine or machine control. We have a lot of standard features that come on the control, so all the user-friendly functions that operators need from a day-to-day aspect, tool load monitoring, tool life management, tool wear compensation, features that allow the operator to easily control their manufacturing process, all loaded up and standard on these controls. It's a very fast control. We have over a 2,000 block look ahead when you're looking at an M-function style control. That allows us to do features like our High Cut Pro, which comes standard on our milling machines. High Cut Pro is a feature where you can actually tell the machine an in-process tolerance band that you want to put around the part, and it will allow it to run the maximum feed rates that you program it to, and then make corners and slow down to the point that it needs to stay within that tolerance band, and then open back up. So in roughing operations, you could have a very wide tolerance band and run as fast as the control will allow you to take it, or you get into finishing type operations where you really need to control that tolerance band as you're making corners. You can narrow that down and slow that machine down to be able to handle that. All that is done through the power of the OSP control itself. Another key feature that we really like is the way that you can do the naming conventions. Some controls you have to have an O number and then a number sequence after that. On Okuma, we really don't care. You can have any kind of a naming sequence that you need. We use a .min extension. So if you're doing a finishing operation on a part, you could say finish and your part name with the .min extension. The control is going to recognize that. That gives you the flexibility to tailor that to your operator needs for your shop floor.
Another nice standard feature on all of our controls would be OSP Suite, which you see here behind me. The nice benefits of OSP Suite would be the ability to call up manuals electronically right here from the control. So you can access all of your parts manuals, your operation manuals, and programming manuals right here electronically. The control is a full touchscreen panel, so navigating through these manuals and searching is really nice and easy. Another nice feature about OSP Suite is the maintenance items are tracked automatically here for you in the system. So any PMs that need to be done on this machine tool are going to be tracked automatically in the system, and you'll get an instant notification when a PM is due or when it's coming due. Here at Okuma, we design everything from the base casting to the servos, the motors, the encoders, and the software. A lot of nice features about our absolute position encoders are, one, they don't require any batteries, so you don't have to worry about changing or replacing batteries. Two, once power is applied to these position encoders, it never loses that position in the machine tool. So in the case of a power outage, if power goes out, once you apply power back to the position encoder, it knows exactly where that machine tool is at position-wise. And the third thing, our position encoders come with 40 million pulses per revolution, so they're very accurate and very reliable. We've designed our control to be very ergonomic, and the control was designed from the operator's perspective. On the manual operation panel that you see here, I've got a full QWERTY keyboard along with my modes of operation and navigation buttons that you see in blue. I've got a full number pad off to the right, along with my emergency stop, cycle start, and feed hold buttons here. The buttons have been grouped by functionality. So all of my spindle operation buttons you'll see here off to the left-hand side, my block skip, operation stop, and single block are all grouped together here on the panel as well. So all of the buttons are grouped to be easy to find from the operator's perspective. All of the white buttons require the interlock release to enable the function, and then again to turn it off. All of the red buttons that you see here stop the spindle or coolant or some kind of operation. When you see a button with an engraving, that means it induces some type of motion. I've also got my feed switches down at the bottom. But again, it's very easy to navigate. It's easy to find things quickly that are all here right on the manual operation panel. So to switch from a lathe to a machining center, even to a grinder control, is very easy because of the way we've grouped the buttons. Also, it's very easy to go from a 3-axis vertical machining center that you see here into a 5-axis machining center because all of the buttons are going to be grouped in the same way.
So Greg talks a lot about game-changing technologies in these video series. To me, there's nothing more game-changing than the fact that this is a true PC control. Anything that you can do on a desktop or laptop computer, you can do on this control. So I always like to tell people you're really only limited by your imagination. We've never come across an application where somebody could do it on a laptop or desktop computer that we were not able to do it on the control itself. Evidence of that can be seen in the Lighthouse video, where Lighthouse Manufacturing in Seattle has a shop full of blind individuals that are running these machine tools, and we use all off-the-shelf technology that plugged and played on this control. So some recent examples that I can share with you where customers have taken this and really made big strides in their manufacturing process would be an example of a customer that does a lot of low volume work, does a lot of changeovers. Over the course of the day, they may do 75 changeovers of different types of parts. So these are very fast production type parts. They do low volumes, very quick changeovers. So what they did is they tied in barcodes to all of their fixtures, barcodes to all of their part programs, and even the tooling that went into the machine itself. Everything that went in, the operator scans barcodes. They had their company screen basically overlaid on the control, and the whole thing ran strictly off the barcode scanner. So the operator would load the fixtures in. These were quick change bases. They would quickly change the fixtures out, bar scan all the fixtures, bar scan the part program, and then barcode scan the cycle start button. And if any of those barcodes didn't match up, it would crunch that data, and if anything didn't match up, it would not allow the machine to start. That way an operator could not run the wrong fixture with the wrong part program, thus eliminating crashes on their shop floor. So their runtime, their uptime of their spindle dramatically increased, not because of the actual manufacturing process they were doing from a chip cutting standpoint, but because of the technology they were doing with the machine and utilizing stuff that they had readily available and imagination from their engineers.
Thank you, Brad and Wade, for the great demo of the Okuma OSP control. One last feature I want to show before we head over to the Q&A session is the feature Another File. This is something I use a lot on the Okuma controls that really makes my job easier and more efficient. Whenever I'm editing a program, I have the ability within the program to press Another File, change my directory to my flash drive, grab another program I would like to copy something out of, quickly highlight the information I would like to copy, and paste right in, simply quit my old program, and now I can go about editing my program that I was writing at the control without having to bring another program into my machine to copy from. Now we're going to have a Q&A session with Brad, Wade, and some of the Hartwig team. Please feel free to ask questions. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, I hope you guys can all hear me.
Gotcha, Nick.
Great. Okay, hey, thanks everyone for joining us today. We've got quite a few customers that have joined us. This broadcast really went out to all of the Hartwig territory throughout all 14 states. So we get a list of the participants, and I can see there's a pretty large number there. I do have some questions coming in right now. I want to encourage you guys that I've got Brad Klippstein on the line right there smiling at us from Charlotte. We have Rick Spencer, one of our senior application engineers from Hartwig. He's in KC today, so he's on the line. And so we'd like to field any questions that you guys have. I did get a couple things into the chat box. I would like to encourage you guys to hit the Q&A with the questions. One of the first things that was asked was, is this recorded? Yes. All of the Game Changer series videos are being recorded. They will all reside on YouTube, on the YouTube Hartwig channel, and they'll be posted. This one will be posted tomorrow. So, okay, let's see. I want to go to the, there's a chatted question here about the OSP suite. What is the OSP suite? Is it available on all the Okuma controls? Brad, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I got it, Nick. Good question. So that was the feature that I was describing in the video with the manuals. It's got maintenance capability. It also gives you the ability to lock any of the screens that we were showing you from any operators. So if you wanted to have, you know, your shift, your first shift guys, give them a password and have them locked out of parameters, you could easily do that. Second shift guys or third shift guys, you can lock them out of any tool offsets, setting parameters, or any work offsets. It's very easy to use, and it gives you full control of that whole system. So that's also a standard feature in our controls. And OSP Suite drives all of that. That's the interface that you interact with, and it's a lot of nice graphical user interfaces on top of that that just make things a little bit easier to understand from the control. So I think the question was, is it available on any Okuma controls? So to answer that question, it's available on all OSP controls on new machines. We also have the ability to retrofit that on a certain number of older machines. So if you have a P300 control, you can get this OSP Suite feature as a retrofit option. And I would say that's available probably on machines that were produced in the past six or 7 years, something like that. So you have to have a P300 control to utilize that OSP Suite feature. Good question.
Hey, Brad, I want to stay with you. Here's a question about Okuma apps. So there's an Okuma app store. These apps are free. How many available apps are out there? What's this involved?
Yeah, I haven't counted recently, but there's at least 40, I believe, on the App Store. I'm probably lowballing it, but we're constantly adding new apps to the App Store. So here in the near future, you'll see a couple new ones on there as well. I would say every year we add probably at least two or half a dozen new apps to the App Store, and they're there for various reasons. We have that App Store available for all of our customers, and if you have a P-Series control, so that's a P100, 200, 300, you can download those free apps and install them on your machine. And they're made for a wide variety of reasons. They all have some unique benefit to them, so I encourage you to go to myokuma.com and check out those free apps, because I can guarantee at least one of those is going to benefit the way you're doing your processing in some way. So check them out.
I got a question for Rick Spencer about training. How do we get more training for our operators? Rick, you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, great question, Nick. So Hartwig, we offer several different options that suit our customers. At any one of our Hartwig facilities, we offer free lifetime training for our customers. We schedule those typically every month, every other month, depending on the office. If you're interested, you can reach out and look on our website, and those classes will be scheduled there at hartwiginc.com. We also offer recently.
I think we lost his audio. Rick, we lost your audio.
What happened? You there?
Yeah, now we got you.
Okay. Where to stop, Nick?
Recently we had, I think you were going to talk about a virtual class.
Okay, so we've been hosting virtual training classes online. Those you should see on our website as well, or you might have received an email with that link. We also offer on-site training. If that's something you're interested in, you want to schedule with your employees or your operators, you can reach out to any one of the offices and get that scheduled with the application manager.
Okay, I got a couple more questions that have come in. If you have any questions, feel free to hit these guys up right now while we've got them. How many tool offsets are standard in machining centers? Who wants that one?
I'll take it, Nick. Another good question. We get those questions all the time. What's standard on the control? So on machining center controls with OSP, you get 999 tool offsets. So what's included in that, there's actually 3 different ways to call a tool offset. You can call it in the program with what we designate HA, HB, or HC for tool length offset, and a similar syntax for diameter. So what that means is I've got, tool number 1, I've essentially got 3 different ways to call the length offset and diameter just on tool 1. So overall, I have 999 of those, and I can call it up in 3 different ways using that H, A, B, or C syntax that I just described there. But good question.
Okay, Brad, here's a question about the barcode readers. How does that work? How do people use those?
Yeah. So the barcode reader, you'll need, obviously the gun, the hardware, and what's great about the Windows platform is once you plug in that barcode gun into the USB port on the front of the control panel, Windows will recognize the driver. So I thought that was kind of an interesting and nice feature about the Windows side, is it just automatically takes care of things like that, and you don't need to go online and try to find a driver and download it. Windows will just automatically recognize it. Once you have that, if you have a newer control, so a P300A, a machine that you purchased within the past couple of years, you actually already have a barcode scanning application on that machine. So that comes standard from the factory on new machines. So now you've purchased your barcode gun, you've already got the application, the software to read it. Now you just set up this app that's already on the control to tell it, once I scan this barcode, call up this part program and any associated sub-programs with that. So it's nice that all of that's already included for you. All you have to do is purchase the gun. That's on brand new machines. On older controls and machines, we can do something very similar with an app as well.
Okay, we got a question about load monitor. More and more customers are using load monitor in various ways. Who wants to tackle that one? I know that this is something that's become standard now in Okuma controls, that when I started, it wasn't. There's a lot of things like load monitor, tool life management, helical milling, MacMan, IMAP. These things weren't standard, and now they become standards for the last, probably every P controller. But for load monitor, how does that work? How are people using that?
Cool. I can take it unless you want to, Rick.
Go ahead, Brad.
All right, cool. So as Nick mentioned, load monitor is a very user-friendly standard feature on the control, and it allows you to set up tool load limits. You're going to set this up in the actual part program and then set limits in this user interface on the control. So I'm going to add a command to the part program. It's a TLMON, tool load monitoring, and you're going to turn it on or turn it off. So what's kind of nice about that is I can turn it on or off at various parts during that program. So if you want to turn it on halfway through a cycle, you can do that in the program. But anyways, once you add those commands to the part program, tell it which axis you want to monitor, which feed axis, spindle, etc. You set up the user interface side of the control that allows you to set up limits. Okay, so now I'm going to tell it during this this cutting cycle, I've got a limit that once you reach this, give me a warning. Okay, and that's going to show up in yellow. Once I reach another limit, that's my red limit. That's an alarm state. I want you to retract from the cut, peel out of the way, and then shoot up an alarm on the screen. So all that is configurable, and you can set that very easily on any of your axes, and you can set it up per tool. So pretty nice and a very flexible feature to use on the control.
Okay, I mentioned MacMan. I know Wade did. Somebody just asked, what is MacMan?
Rick, how about I pass this one over to you?
Okay, sounds great. So MacMan is an onboard, think of that as your black box on the control that keeps track of your different keystrokes. Inside of that, you also have the ability to track runtime for certain programs, look at alarm history, and inside of that, you can also click on a different alarm. So you may have a series of different alarms that you can go click on and that can take you to a shortcut or a help window where you're able to access that and maybe troubleshoot that. So think of it as your black box within the machine, the Okuma Control.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, here's a question about the upgradability of the Windows. I just had a customer ask me this on all their P controllers. They wanted to upgrade to a newer grade of Windows. My customer upgraded to Windows 7. This customer is asking, can we upgrade our Windows XP on our controls up to Windows 10? Can you answer that, Brad?
Yeah, I got it. So our controls now come standard with Windows 10. We also offer upgrade paths for older generations of controls. So if you've got, a P300 with Windows 7, we offer an upgrade path to go to 10. If you've got, XP, which I think was the question in this case, we also have upgrade paths to get to 10 as well. So for the XP, that's going to require some hardware and software. But yeah, we can upgrade our versions of Windows. We'll need to have our engineering group look at that to make sure the software upgrade path is, has our stamp of approval, but we can definitely do that for you. Yep.
Okay, I've got two more questions. This might sound rudimentary, but next to the XYZ buttons, what does the 4, 5, 6 buttons refer to on the control?
Yeah, I can get that real quick. So that would be for adding additional rotary axes on the machine. So yeah, from Japan, those are just always there on the operation panel, the manual operation panel, just in case you'd want to add a 4th or 5th axis rotary table. That allows you to command those additional axes. So if you've just got a 3-axis vertical and you see those buttons and they don't do anything, you're probably asking, well, why do I see these? And that's for the customers that added a rotary in the field. Then we enable those through software when Hartwig installs that rotary table, that option. Good question.
Brad, one more thing to add to that is that control panel is the same between all of the 5-axis machines and the 3-axis machines. So keeps it common as you have 3-axis and 4 or 5-axis machines in your shop. Guys are bouncing around. They have the same feel for all the machines.
Good call. Yep.
Okay, and the last question I have here is how can I monitor my CNC machines from a PC or connect to these throughout my company? I think the question is yes. Do I need MT Connect?
You are correct, Nick. So the machine comes standard, new machines come standard with MT Connect, and that's the interface, the protocol that needs to talk to the machine to gather the data points from the machine tool and convert that into a man-readable format. So you've already got the software basically enabled, not enabled, but active on the machine to be able to pull information from the machine. So basically you'll need to connect it. So once you have that Ethernet connection, you've already got the software on the machine. Now you need some type of dashboard or an application, a viewer on your laptop, your desktop, your smart device to take that information and put it into a format that you can read and understand. So really you've got a lot of the interface already there. You'll just need a dashboard, and we have a lot of partners and a lot of vendors that provide dashboard viewers, and it really just depends on how you want to see that information and what you want to do with that. So Hartwig and Okuma can definitely work with you on how to set that stuff up and what your options are for viewers. But standard, a lot of people like the MT Connect because it is a common interface across machine tools. Whether you're talking Okuma or another machine tool builder, or other devices. It's a standard protocol that works across the board.
All right, that's great. Thank you. I don't see any other questions coming through at this point. I want to remind everyone that, yeah, this is recorded. It will be on YouTube. We thank you all for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedules. We hope the Game Changers series is bringing value to you. Our goal is to help you to be more productive, more efficient, and more profitable. If you have any other suggestions, ideas on Game Changers series, things that you would like to know more about, see live video of, please get in touch with your Hartwig representative. If you have any more questions about today's topic, again, maybe contact your sales representative or maybe your favorite local application engineer. Thank you again for joining us. Our next series will be in September, so you'll be getting an invite September for Game Changer number 5. Have a great day. Thank you.